Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I'd like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as Miss Trenchcoat all across the internet. I help overwhelmed women manage their time, energy, and expectations so they can get all of their big thoughts, plans, dreams, and ideas out of their head and onto paper so they can get down to business creating their dream life. And if that sounds like you are in the right place. So make sure to hit that subscribe button for my future videos. So today's video is going to be something a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more fun and entertaining. I'm going to be doing an unboxing of a couple of recent planner purchases from some luxury designer brands. So these boxes you see here, none of these things are really going to be like a true unboxing. I have opened and started using the planners inside of this, but you guys over on Instagram told me that you wanted me to film an unboxing video. So if you are not following me on Instagram, make sure to do that at MissTrenchcoat so that you can have the behind the scenes of my productivity life and business, and you can have some say in some of the future videos that I create. So this is not going to be a completely true unboxing, but I did want to put them back in the boxes and give it to you guys, open them up because it's exciting and it's fun. So I'm going to show you guys the planners that I bought, and I'm going to talk afterwards about how I'm using them and how I've gotten them set up. You guys know that I am a one planner woman. And earlier this year, I purchased this planner. This is not included in this luxury planner haul. I purchased this planner from Chanel, and it is my workhorse. It's what I'm in day to day. So these planners that I bought today or that I'm showing you today were not purchased to replace this planner. I'm using these other planners in other ways as well for like auxiliary binders and things like that. So we'll talk about that, and I'll try to give you guys some ideas of like the sizing for what fits in them, because I know that when it comes to a lot of these planners, the sizes are weird. Specifically, the Chanel planners aren't really like a normal standard planner size. So I am going to go ahead and jump into an overview here. Yes. So you guys can see me as I'm unboxing, but you can also see the planner. So I'm going to go ahead and move this guy out of the way for now. And I think what we're going to do is, I think we should start with the Louis Vuitton first. So I'm going to do that first. So here is the beautiful Louis Vuitton box. I don't remember if this is how it came or not, but I put it back together with all of this stuff. Like I said, I have been using this, so it's not, a true unboxing, but it's kind of fun to watch. So let's go ahead and we'll take off the ribbon. I know people love that. Okay. And then I like this box. It's got like a magnetic clasp or whatever, and it opens up. And this is just the receipt and some things. I guess I should let you guys know now, just because, we'll talk about this, I guess, when I get to the kind of like frequently asked questions about luxury planners, because I know these planners are not always easy to find, particularly the Chanel. But this one was purchased brand new from the Louis Vuitton in Short Hills in Neiman Marcus. So that is where I actually purchased this one. So I didn't go there in person because we're in the middle of the lockdown, but I did call them. I do hold a Neiman Marcus card, so I was able to call them and get like concierge service or whatever, and they located it for me and then shipped it out to me, and it was here, I want to say overnight, like I got it like the next day. So it was pretty quick. So I've got the, what is this called? Dust bag, right? And then inside we have the cover, and excuse if there's any marks or stuff on here because I did just box this back up, so I'm sorry if there's a little bit of a mark from my makeup, most likely right there. But I purchased this is the monogram Louis Vuitton Desk Agenda. So that is the first planner. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside now, and I will talk a little bit more about it once we've unboxed everything. We'll just get all the unboxings out of the way. Okay, I think the next one we'll go for is the Chanel. This is actually the newest in terms of age of the agendas that I bought from Chanel. So it came in this is one of their newer style boxes. And this planner actually came with a lot of things, even though I purchased this one pre-owned. So I did buy this from a luxury like retailer, resale, sorry, a luxury resale. I did get like the authentication card and some other bits and wrapping paper and things like that. And this one as well comes in the Chanel dust bag, which I have some SLGs, some small leather goods from Chanel that come in something very similar. And this is the second planner that I wanted to show you guys. So this is the Chanel's Desk Agenda. This is lambskin quilted with gold hardware. And then the interior is their classic burgundy. So that is planner number 2. And we'll get into how I'm using it, what I'm using it for, and why I chose it in a little bit, because if anyone knows me, you will know that the gold was not necessarily my first choice, but buying on the resale market, it's, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And when I saw one that was in great condition for the price I wanted to pay, I was like, you know what, the gold it's not that in your face. So I was happy to purchase that one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one aside as well. Okay, and then the third and final new planner, and this one's also from Chanel, also purchased on the luxury resale market. This one's a little bit older. It's in between the age of my Chanel that I bought earlier this year and the one I just showed you. So it is still a little bit older. This is an older style box. And this one did not come in any sort of extra wrapping, but it was in very good condition. And this is a quilted leather. It's not lambskin. I believe it's calfskin. And it has the patent CCs. This is from, if anyone is familiar with Chanel's lines, this came from the Cambon line. So that was the line that had like the patent leather CCs. And this one was in pretty good condition. It has a few marks on it, but I was actually able to clean up these planners pretty well, actually. And what you'll notice about this planner, that was the reason I really, really wanted to buy it, is that it is actually a zip. So I really liked that. And the inside is the black leather with these embossed CCs. That's in line with that Cambon line that Chanel does. Silver hardware. Yeah, and that's the interior of this planner. Okay, so next let's go ahead and talk about what I'm actually using these planners for. And we'll go ahead and we'll start with the Louis Vuitton Agenda. So for this Louis Vuitton Desk Agenda, I am using this as my auxiliary binder. So essentially, I am using this to house extra inserts, and when I take inserts out of my planner that I'm actually using, which is my Chanel Desk Agenda, the one that was not included in this video, I will store them inside of this agenda. So this agenda is actually like a really great size. It really is like a true A5. I believe it's something like 9 inches, maybe 9¼ inches. You guys can find the dimensions on Louis Vuitton's website, but it really does seem to hold a lot, and I like how floppy it is, so you really can stuff this very, very well. So what I've been using inside of there right now, and we're not going to go into what's exactly in this packet of goodies, but I have been using my disc bound system in there. And what I actually did, I hope you guys can kind of see these, is I bought these beautiful Levenger discs that are tortoiseshell. And I thought that would just go so well in this planner. So these are 1-inch discs. And what I do with this is I have just like a standard disc agenda cover, and that fits right into here. So you can just slide it right in. And then there we are, right? So you can actually see this is nice and thick. So for someone who really loves like a chunky agenda, this actually does incredibly well. I also really love the organization in it, obviously because it's a agenda I'm not going to be using on the day-to-day basis. It's really just for auxiliary. It sits on my desk. It keeps extra notes, etc. I'm not like really fully using it to its full abilities with organization, but I've just been keeping like, is it in here? I think so. I've been keeping it like this. I just have this candle, this diptyque candle thing here, but it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 card slots, another slot down here. This big slot on the front is, I think, what they call a passport pocket, secretarial pocket, and then there is a full pocket in here as well. So if you wanted to, I could use, that I could really have been connecting that disc bound cover in here if I wanted to, or I can add like another notebook if I wanted to. That's not what I need right now, so I'm not going to be using it like that for now, but this is literally how I have it set up, and it sits out on my desk, and yeah, it just houses all of my inserts when I'm done with them for the year, because I do often need to kind of look back at things sometimes, but my Chanel agenda is just too thin. Like I can only use 3/4 inch discs in this planner. So it's good to have my planner inserts pre-printed and in an auxiliary binder for just like quick, swapping out, putting in the new months, etc., etc. So that is how I'm using this Louis Vuitton Desk Agenda. Now, some general tips maybe for finding this is that I would say is that you want to check louisvuitton.com first, or if you have a Louis Vuitton retailer near you, like an actual boutique, I would definitely go in there. Like I said, I bought mine brand new. So it is a planner that you can find on the luxury resale market. But what I would say is that truthfully, when I was looking into buying pre-owned or pre-loved, I felt like the prices were so close to just buying a new one that why wouldn't I just buy a new one? And I realize that sometimes they go out of stock, but they do come in and out of stock. So I was actually very easily able to find this. Like I literally just went on the Louis Vuitton website. I checked the boutiques that were near me. I saw one in New Jersey that was also part of a Neiman Marcus. And I was like, okay, you've got your Neiman Marcus card. You can just call them up and they'll send it to you. And that's what I did, right? It was very easy. I would assume that would be everyone's general experience if you know what you want. So I didn't go into the store, like I said, I just called them. They told me they had it. They took some pictures and they sent it to me. So that was easy enough. One thing I do want to kind of caution for anyone who is using the luxury resale market is I really think you need to do your homework and make sure you're buying from reputable places online. So when I talk about like the luxury resale community, there are websites out there like Fashion File, The Real Real, Yugi's Closet. I know there are some others, but those are the ones that I'm mostly familiar with, and then eBay as well. So eBay, I know, can sometimes have a little bit of a stigma because there are a lot of scam people on eBay as well, but there are also a lot of very trusted resellers, and that is something that you could look into as well. Like I said, I looked into buying one of these on the resale market, but I just felt like the price wasn't worth it. I'd rather just go get a new one and know that it was real, because that's something else with these planners. These planners have been duplicated. So there are people, there's always people ripping off different designs with designer items, and these agendas are included. There are fakes of these out there. So you really have to watch what you're buying and make sure that you're looking at pictures very well and making sure that you understand what a real one does look like, so that you can compare to pictures you see online. And of course, keep in mind that if you are buying resale, if you're buying from someone that's not so you don't know if they're trusted enough, it's always possible that they can put pictures of a real one online and then they send you a fake. So that's why it's kind of important that if you're going to make a purchase, to be smart, do your homework. If you're trying to save money and use the resale market, just be wise. If not, a Louis Vuitton Desk Agenda, at least this style, was in stock in a couple of places near me. Now, I do happen to be in like the Philadelphia area, right? So maybe they just keep these things in stock in certain areas. But I do know someone else who purchased their Louis Vuitton Desk Agenda from the Louis Vuitton that's actually closest to me is King of Prussia Mall in Pennsylvania. And a friend of mine, I think, who was in Seattle at the time, she called Louis Vuitton up to find out where they had these in stock, and she got hers from that local one that was near me. So my local one was out of stock when I had checked, and then that's why I went to the Short Hills one. But yeah, so they will ship these to you, which is awesome. So, if you're in the US, at least I can say that pretty confidently. If you're in the US, you should probably just be able to go on their website and find where you can order one, call them up, buy it online, bada bing, bada boom. You've got a planner. Okay, now it's time to talk about this beauty, the lambskin quilted Chanel. This one is probably the most luxurious planner that I could ever imagine. I was actually really blown away by the quality of this planner when it arrived. It did have like a little bit of damage, very minutely to the leather in the listing, but as someone who has owned leather goods and owned Chanel in the past, I knew that there was a very good chance that if I used my leather cleaner, I would be able to clean this up very well. And I did. So I was actually able to fix all the little spots. Like the corners were really, really worn and they looked very frayed. But just a couple of, coats of a leather conditioner really cleaned this planner up, and she looks absolutely stunning now, and she smells like delicious, like you'd expect like Chanel leather to smell like. Yeah, you still smell delicious. And she just feels so amazing in the hand. And I'm sure for some people who are familiar with Chanel, you might be thinking, wow, why did you go with lambskin and not caviar? I would have been open to caviar if caviar had been available in the price point that I was looking for. But truthfully, I've owned leather SLGs from lambskin leather SLGs from Chanel in the past that are quilted, and they're tougher than they look. They really are. Now, if you're someone who really is going to give your planner a beating, then it's probably not for you. But just like day-to-day use, staying in my office or, being transported minimally, I'm not really afraid of this having any damage because I have a lambskin quilted wallet from Chanel that I literally abuse. And I clean it up with the leather conditioner and it looks brand new again. So obviously if I took a knife to this or like a scissors or something and scored the leather, that's damage that is going to be permanent unless I go get it fixed. But just gentle use is fine with the lambskin. So that's what I would say about that. Now, like I said, I did purchase this from the luxury resale market, and I actually purchased this one off of a seller on eBay. Now, some tips that I do want to give you guys about eBay sellers is that, you do need to do your research on them, right? You really do need to do your research, and you need to make sure that the people that you're buying from have a lot of great reviews and that you're checking their reviews in terms of like the stars that they get from eBay, right? You want to see what their percentage is of satisfied customers, and you want to look in to see what their negative comments were. I think that's a really big deal. I always, if someone doesn't have a perfect rating, right, but they have, a strong rating, like a 94 or something like that, I will go in and see what their negatives were, because if someone's complaining that something was fake, that's one thing. But if someone's complaining that something took a very long time, which happens to happen very often, right? That tends to be a complaint that people have, is that maybe a seller took too long to ship something, right? So then I feel a little bit more confident when I know what the negatives are, right? When I actually can go in and see those reviews, and you can see the reviews on eBay, which is nice. Now, there is also a website that is dedicated, I think it's the Purse Forum, I believe that's what it is, where you can actually find lists of sellers that are recommended on eBay that are trusted. Now, of course, that goes with the caveat of just because we are saying that these are trusted sellers does not mean that you're never going to get a fake from them, right? We can't guarantee what they're doing. So there are places available where you can have items authenticated before you purchase. And of course, after you purchase as well, you can also get things authenticated. So I am very confident that this is authentic. And for the reason that I'm not going to say I'm an authenticator. I'm not an authenticator, but I do have a book on authenticating Chanel handbags that was written by a real authenticator. And I always check my purchases against theirs. And that's why I've been pretty successful, I think, when I buy resale. I don't buy resale a lot, really. But for these planners, you just can't walk into a Chanel and buy these normally. They do have some available throughout the year. They do have some styles of their desk agendas available, but they're not widely available. And it's not like something like Louis Vuitton where you could just go on the website and check, right? So this is a style that is from their what is the term they use? It's from their core line. So they always restock things like this. But this agenda, the Kanban line, they don't make this anymore. So if you wanted this agenda, you would have to be searching the resale market for that, right? You can't just find it from Chanel anymore. So another tip I want to give you guys about eBay sellers is that actually, this is something that I've learned from using eBay for several years and buying things used on eBay, luxury items pre-loved, right? Do not discount the Japanese resellers. So resellers that are based in Japan. I will tell you from my experience that the Japanese resellers are among the most trusted. Now, again, that's a very blanket statement that it doesn't, of course, there could still be issues with sellers. But in general, Japan as a country is very, very strong legislatively on preventing intellectual property issues, right? So it's not like China, which has a reputation for all the fakes come from China. Japan really cuts down on that. So they're very much against infringing on intellectual property copyrights. So it's not very prevalent to have fakes coming from Japan. In addition, my experience has been that when I buy from the Japanese resellers, they tend to exaggerate the condition to skew negative. So what I mean by that is they told me, when I bought this one from a Japanese reseller. I think I bought it from different resellers too. This planner, they gave it just like a good or like a fair rating. But when I cleaned it up with the leather conditioner, I was like, this is brand new looking, like it looks brand new. Even like the scratches that they said were on the hardware of the CC. And I can show you guys down here. Sorry, I'm dealing with two cameras here. I was able to buff that out. So they tend to really give you way too much information, and that's not a bad thing. But they tend to skew the quality of what you're buying to favor more of a negative response. So I think what they end up doing is sometimes they price items more competitively because in their eyes, it's not as good of a condition, right? So I'm not sure if that is a cultural thing with the way that the Japanese, go to quality, right? I know that, the stereotype is that they are very fastidious when it comes to quality. So I wonder if that's, just part of the way that their culture is, that they err on the side of caution and they make you think that it's in worse condition than it really is. And that has been my experience with multiple Japanese luxury resellers. So when I do try to buy from resellers, if I'm not going through like a Fashion File or a Real, I will look to eBay, the eBay Japanese sellers, because they do an amazing job. And I'll tell you, the shipping is always very quick. They ship usually DHL, and I've always had my items within a matter of just a couple of days to a week. It really is surprising to me how quickly the items move through customs. Now, of course, if they get caught up in customs because they get flagged or something like that, that's one thing, but the shipping has always been quick. Things have always been well packaged. I've had no issues buying from eBay, Japanese resellers on the luxury market. Okay, so what am I using this planner for? Let me show you. So for those of you who've been following me for a while, you may recall that usually I have on my desk a planner binder that is dedicated for use as a 43 folders tickler system. And if you're not familiar with that, I will leave you some links below to how I take a file of facts or a standard planner and turn it into one of these 43 folders tickler files, which is essentially a rotating calendar for organizing notes and documents, as something that you just leave on your desk, as almost like a walking filing cabinet. Now, through the years, I've noticed that I really don't use the 43 folders. I just really need the calendar months for the things that I do. So I went ahead and used the Discbound system to create these monthly dividers, right? And they're printed on vellum. So you can see it's the months printed on vellum and then laminated. And I also laminated the tab. So all of these things come from Insert Designs from my shop. But yeah, that's how I am using this. I'm leaving it out on my desk, and it is where I have like some paperwork that I just kind of fold into the months for the days, you know, when they're applicable. So for example, there's something I have that was, I pulled everything out of this obviously to show you guys, but I have my car is up for registration and that's due in December. So I had the registration tucked behind December, right? So that's the sort of thing, like if I get mail, if I have something that's due, if I have a sticky note that I want to reference later on, like an idea or something, and I just wrote notes about it, I will put it in the month that it belongs to in this tickler folder. So everything else, I'm kind of keeping this very minimal because it is a more delicate planner. But that is how I am using this guy. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think she's beautiful. And I think I mentioned before that I was not necessarily someone looking for the gold, but I purchased it because the price was, and the quality like was such a great value that I was like, you know what, let's get over that you want it to be silver and let's go with the gold. And I'm very happy with it because it really isn't too out of my aesthetic. So I'm pleased with it. Now, the third and final agenda that I'm sharing with you guys today is this beautiful Chanel Kanban agenda. And this one as well was purchased from another luxury reseller on eBay from Japan. Again, I'm very happy with those resellers and their quality and their service. And I just feel very confident when I'm purchasing from them. And then knowing how to authenticate things myself makes me feel that extra layer of confidence when I'm buying. So I purchased this one a little bit more on a whim, right? So this was, I know it's like ridiculous for someone to say that like a designer item was an impulse purchase, but I just thought that this was so beautiful. And I loved that it was a zip around, because what I was thinking about for this is even when I'm not using this for planning purposes, I can use this to travel with travel documents and things like that. So it's a really great just general organizer that I can travel with, and it zips up so all of my stuff is secure inside. So how am I using this right now? I have decided in order to save room in my main planner to make this my journal. So this is actually where my journal is. And oh, you know what I bought too? Oh, you guys are going to love this. So I did for this planner as well, not planner, journal. I also I have the Levenger discs. These are in 3/4 inch in that tortoise shell. And I also bought these Kate Spade tortoise file folders, and I cut them down to be the back page, the slip, to slip into the planner. Now, something I didn't mention with the other planner that I should probably mention right now, the other Chanel planner, is that these planners are not sized like for A5 or half letter necessarily. So when I have like a disc agenda cover, I have to always cut it down so that it fits properly into the back here. And in addition to that, when I put my inserts in, you guys know that my printable inserts in my shop are generally half letter. So that's 8.5 by 5.5 wide. What I end up doing when I'm making my inserts to put in a Chanel agenda is I cut off an extra 1/4 inch from the width. So I make it 5.25 by 8.5. So these are a little bit smaller than a true half letter, but it's fine with my designs because I always leave a little bit of a border anyway. So they do very well. So obviously this is my journal, so I don't want to show too much, but I do have some, you know, custom journaling inserts that I use that are in there, but this is has been so much better for me because I am able to save room in my planner, not having all of my journaling inserts in there. And I'm actually able to keep more inserts in here at a time to reference back on and do affirmations and things like that. So I can store more in this. So that is how I'm using this planner right now. And generally speaking, what I do is I take where is it? Oh, there they are. I take my pen, and I bought this cross pen, this black diamond quilted cross pen. And then I have just one of my Tombow markers for highlighting, and I just kind of sit them on there close it up, and then zip up the planner. So that's how I keep it. Now I did try, now this will actually hold. I have tested this and it will hold my planner as it stands right now. This one, the Chanel planner, if I took the guts out of this, I can get it into this agenda. But something I noticed was that I can't keep the pen on the pen loop, because when you zip around, it kind of pushes and it stretches and it kind of gets caught. So that's why I kind of just leave the pens on top and just zip it up, because there's a little bit extra room in there. Okay, so the final thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is specifically the Chanel agendas and how to go about finding those on the resale market. I know I touched on them a little bit earlier, but I kind of wanted to just wrap up with some final thoughts on how I recommend finding these planners and how I go about purchasing them and deciding what I want and things like that. So since, like I said already, they're not something you could just normally just go into the store and find all of the different varieties. Like 2 of the 3 planners that I have from Chanel right now are not planners that you can actually just go to the store and purchase, right? You could possibly find this planner or something similar in store, in a boutique, but the other 2 are from lines that are discontinued. This is from the Camellia line and this is from the Kanban line. So what I recommend when you are someone who is looking for a luxury planner that is no longer available, and Chanel is not the only other company that does these sorts of luxury planner covers. So Louis Vuitton, I would say, they're one, and they have a lot of different options and they keep stocking them, right? So you can go to a store and you could perhaps find one or order one. But there are a lot of other brands I've seen online that do these luxury planner covers or desk agendas, or another term they're often used is the term handbook. So I have seen on the resale market Fendi, I've seen Cartier, I've seen Hermes, I've seen Gucci, I think Tiffany I've seen. There are a lot of different luxury brands or high-end fashion brands that do these sorts of planner covers, handbook style things. So the first thing that I would say is that if you are interested in finding something that's not openly available, is that you know first what you want. And what I mean by that is have a specific planner in mind or a range of planners that you would be interested in purchasing. So because the stock is going to rotate online, right, for the different resellers and on eBay and places like that, there's no guarantee that at any time you're going to find things. I purchased this agenda in January, right? And I've been looking on eBay and on the resale market for other planners and other agendas. And there hasn't really been anything at a price point and a quality point that I'm interested in. If you go on eBay right now, I know you can go and find some Chanel agenda covers like something similar to this for an astronomical price, right? These tend to retail, I believe right now, because I have seen one of these in a boutique in person before. I believe there's something like $1,200 to $1,300 US before taxes. So they are an expensive piece, which would be a reason why you might want to go to the resale market to buy them under resale or to find something that's no longer available. So I think the first thing you want to do is know what it is that you're looking for. Like know the brand, know the general style that you're looking for. I had been eyeing this Kanban style, and there were a few options for if I had seen one in the price range I liked that was in the quality, range that I liked, that I would be interested in snapping it up if I saw one on a luxury reseller. So there's also a version of this that comes without a zip. So there's just like an open one, which is how my other 2 are. So this one was unique for me, but if I had seen the one without the zip and it was in a price range that I was comfortable with, then I would have bought that one most likely, truthfully, because this was something, like I said, it was an impulse purchase because I saw it and I'm like, you know what, I like the price, I like the quality, I like the style, I want it, right? So you definitely want to know what you're looking for, right? And have like a range of options available for what you are willing to buy and what you're not willing to buy. I would also recommend having a price point that you want to stick to, right? So if you have a range where you say like, look, if I find something between this range and this range of money and it fits within the parameters of what I'm looking for, then I'm going to go ahead and make the purchase. Because when it comes to luxury resellers like Fashion File or Yugi's Closet or The Real or people on eBay, right? you can't guarantee that the stock is going to be there long. So you have to be ready to act when you have the opportunity. So I would do your research, see what other options are out there, see what they're called, right? And I will say, I believe it's the Real Real. Yuki's Closet might also do this. I don't think Fashion File does it, but I believe the Real Real will also show you past items that they have already sold. So you can actually go through and see a whole bunch of other planner covers from Chanel, from other brands as well. And like I said, you'll want to search for terms like desk agenda, agenda cover, planner cover, notebook cover, and the word handbook. That's another one of the words that I see people use a lot to find a planner. So if you search like Chanel planner, right, you might get some results, but then if you search Chanel handbook cover, then there's a whole bunch of new results. Okay, so it really does, the terminology does matter, and I found that those are the terms that have helped me find the most amount of planners, right? So a final thing I wanted to tell you guys, if you are a luxury planner person who's into the Chanel and the Louis Vuitton Desk Agendas, is I actually have a few designed inserts for dashboards that are inspired by Chanel and Louis Vuitton. So as you can see here, this first one here is the dripping Chanel logo. And then I also have the Louis Vuitton monogram print as well. And right now I just have these designs printed on vellum so that they're kind of see-through, but these are actually free dashboard designs that are part of my October resources and inserts and freebies over in the Productivity and Planning Mastermind. So if you are a luxury planner lover who's also concerned with their productivity and personal development, I welcome you to join us for the Productivity and Planning Mastermind. I'll leave some links down below in the description where you can check it out. But essentially, this is a monthly membership for a group coaching mastermind on the topic of productivity and planning. So when you sign up, you will get access to a private members only portal that includes a whole bunch of free resources, including the downloads that I just showed you, the dashboards, and many other downloads that go along every month. So every month I give you new free resources and dashboards. I also go live once a month on a productivity and planning topic for a live masterclass with you all. So you guys can talk to me and learn our topic for the month and dive deep and ask me questions. And we also have a private Slack community, which is basically a chat group where we talk about everything from books and wellness to productivity tips and personal development ideas. So I welcome you to join me and the rest of our group for the membership. I'll leave you a link down below, like I said, and I hope to see you inside. So I do hope that this video was helpful and informative for those of you who are interested in finding a similar style luxury planner online. I am going to go ahead and leave some extra details for dimensions and things that we really didn't get into too much in the video today. I'll leave it in the video's descriptions just so you guys can kind of understand that back cover size for the Chanel agenda and the Louis Vuitton agenda. Half letter and A5 notebooks or planners fit very comfortably into that cover. Anything larger than that, and I think that it absolutely will end up coming through the cover. So like the planner itself or the notebook itself would stick out. And I think many of us probably wouldn't like that. But if that's your preference, if there really is a planner that you like that fits close to the desk agenda, then it's your life, your planner, do what works for you 100%. But I'll leave you some more details about the dimensions and things that I'd recommend in the description of this video. And if you have any questions, let me know. I am absolutely not a sales rep or anything like that from Chanel or Louis Vuitton. If they want to sponsor me for a future video, contact me, Louis Vuitton or Chanel, but this video isn't sponsored or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just someone who loves the luxury agendas and has acquired quite a few over the last couple of weeks that I wanted to share with you guys. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to do my best to help you, but I really can't like source agendas for you or anything like that. So keep the questions, pretty straightforward to, the topic of finding them or maybe other little questions that I may have missed talking about in this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you're subscribed for more awesome videos by me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.